Welcome back, everyone. And if this is your first time, I am LaQuita Norris, licensed trauma therapist, certified grief educator, as well as the founder and lead therapist at Gateway Family Therapy and Wellness. And here on our channel, we talk about all things healing, all things trauma, as well as all things wellness. And we go beneath the surface. So we get deep, and we always hope that you leave here with tools to assist yourself, assist someone else, or take the next step to make sure you're feeling whole and well. So today's topic, I want to talk about being triggered and what it means if you're still being triggered even though you're doing the work. I know that can be frustrating, and for many people, it often leads to them leaving therapy or giving up on whatever support or tool that they're using at the time. So I want to dive deep into what that means. Does that mean I'm not really healing? Does that mean that the progress I've made is gone? What does that mean? So let's start with the fact that healing is not linear. Many times, and I think that's traditionally the idea, if I go to therapy, if I choose to face what it is that's hurting me, then on the other side of that, I should feel as if it never happened. I should feel completely different. And that is not how healing works. Healing is not linear. You're not going up a set of stairs, and each time you take a step, you feel completely better. It does not alleviate the wound. Healing instead is very circular. I like to call it, it's sometimes like a cycle. Like I go up and then sometimes I go down and all around. And that does not mean that you've not made progress, because what happens is, although the wound is still there, when you're triggered, yes, you're taken back to that wound, but you're taken back to that wound with new tools and new depth. And what I like to tell my clients is we learn by practice, through practice. And so every time you're triggered, every time you're taken back to that wound, you're given a new opportunity to use those tools that you're gaining in therapy. And so no, when you're triggered, that does not mean that you've lost all progress. It means that there are parts of you that are still activated, that still need your attention, that still need your compassion, that need you to use those new tools that you've developed, that new self-leadership that you've developed. And so now I want to take us a little bit into IFS. So you all have heard me mention IFS before. That is the primary therapy tool I use in my practice, individually as a clinician, but also the main principles I founded my practice on. And in IFS, one of the things that we teach our clients, but one of the philosophies is our system is made up of parts. Some of those parts are protectors, but also there are exiles there. And those exiles carry our deepest wounds. Those exiles carry shame, they carry fear, they carry our trauma. And the thing with those is when we're triggered, a lot of times those exiles come to the surface. Even when you've done the work to help those protectors stand back, those exiles still can be activated. And the goal of IFS is to build self-leadership. And that's to help you build your relationship with these parts. And I'm sure I get this question all the time, then why don't we just get rid of the exiles? Why don't we just get rid of the wound? And we can't. We can't undo what has been done. We can't undo the wound that is there, but we can shift the relationship with that wound. We can stop adding more shame or more criticism to the experiences we have or the wound that is being activated right now. And that is self-leadership. And so one of the things that you learn or you gain in IFS therapy is you will be triggered. These wounds will be activated. But you want to face those wounds with compassion, not criticism, and help those exiles get their needs met. And that's where you show up. You're able to reparent. You're able to show up for yourself in ways that maybe at 6, when you had a traumatic event, you weren't able to get a need met. But now as an adult, now I can ask myself when that part is activated, this part of me that's fearful, this part of me that feels ashamed, what does it need in this moment? That's the complete opposite of asking, why am I like this? What is wrong with me? I'm damaged. I'll never get better. Those things only activate that wound more. But when we come to ourselves or go inside, I like to call it a U-turn. When we go inside and ask, well, this part of me that's activated, what does it need from me? That allows for us to make steps in the right direction. It allows for us to show up for ourselves, but it also allows for us to shift that critical voice that we're so used to. And so, as I said before, in my clinic, one of the primary things I do is to assure that every client comes in and feels seen and heard. That includes all parts of those clients. And in our wellness services, and not just our wellness service, but all of our services, you see IFS grounded in those services. And so for those that are wondering, well, what can I do next? Because I am feeling highly triggered and maybe often despite the work that I've done this far. Come to Reset and Restore. This is our trauma-focused yoga class. This class allows for you to be still. It allows for you to release, and sometimes release without words. It allows for your parts to be present, but you to be present with those parts. Or come to therapy. Most of our therapists practice from an IFS perspective, and they can help you go inside and work with your internal system that may be activated when you're triggered by people, places, or things. Or maybe even massage. Massage allows your body to do sometimes what words cannot express. It allows for you to release that tension. And that old saying, the body keeps the score, it's very real. And not always with trauma. It can be anger, it can be frustration, but massage allows you to release that in a nonverbal way. And then coaching. Maybe you've done so much of the work, but you're like, how do I apply these things? How do I shift my value system? How can my behavior align with my value system? How can I meet these goals I have for myself when I've been walking or led by parts of me that have been hindering in some sense? Coaching is where you can do that. So there are options out there, there are tools out there, but the biggest takeaway today is I want you to know, just because you're triggered, just because that wound is still there, does not mean you lack progress. It means there is a part of you that still needs your intention, that still needs compassion and not criticism. So as always, I hope you took something from today that could be beneficial to you or someone you care about. And if you want to learn more about some of the things I've talked about today, go to gatewayfamilytherapy.com and explore our services and find what might be best for you. And I always like to end with that reminder to take care of your heart because you deserve it.